Hello everyone, it's Ashwin Rao, and in today's video I'm bringing you a pair of boots that are actually old, but also new to me. They've been refreshed and they're by a heralded, if not legendary, bootmaker in the heritage footwear community amongst us welted boot enthusiasts. And that is of course Roll Club, led by Brian Truong, also known as Brian the Bootmaker. Brian the Bootmaker and Roll Club are synonymous names for Brian's company, and Roll Club has been known for a wide range of products, particularly their engineer boots, which are hiding in this box right here. He has engineer boots manufactured off of a couple of lasts, currently known as the 1940 and the 1945 lasts. Brian also does other types of boots, such as a boondocker that has, I believe, is called the Underdog, and has a few other styles as well. And he's also very well regarded and known for his resole work. So this is a pair that I purchased almost, about 6 to 8 months ago on the used market. After wearing it for a while and it worked fine with dress socks, I found the fit to be a little bit snug, even with dress socks on. So I wanted to see if Brian could refresh these but grow them a little bit so that I could tolerate medium thickness socks. Now, Brian's sizing tends to run a little bit sleeker, meaning that when you put your foot in, it's going to grab your foot a little bit more tightly, particularly in the forefoot as well as in the heel. So expect that compared to other brands for the same Brannock size, even based on his recommendations, the fit's going to feel different. And that's led to some people feeling like Brian's fits are challenging to them. So you'll have to decide, and maybe if you're getting a boot on the used market, find somebody who's a boot buddy of yours. I got these from a friend of mine named Michael, who I've connected with, and he and I have very similar fits, and therefore I could trust his fit a little bit more than others. So I decided to spring for these. But even though our fits were similar, he found these to be small, and when I got them, I also, after a few months, found them to be small. So I reached out to Brian via email, and he got back to me. He's not as good about direct messages on Instagram, so know that about Brian. These pair of used Roll Club engineers actually got a resole as well as a resize. So I sized these up. I preferred a full size up, which is what I asked for. And I also asked that he resole these because I wanted to get a refresh so that these boots felt new to me again. What was cool is I got this pair back in the Roll Club box, a very nice cardboard rugged box. Roll Club handmade boots in Los Angeles, California. These are US made, custom built, timeless, interesting, and of high quality. And I would agree with a lot of these. Now, Brian has fans in the community. He also has a few people who have not been as happy, but I think he is amongst the very best engineer manufacturers. He puts a lot of time and thought into his manufacturing. Very clean, good last that will fit and enjoy. A lot of people will enjoy, to be honest. And so I wanted to give Brian a shout out for the high quality and the experience that I've had. An artisan, a craftsman, and a soup to nuts bootmaker who's really doing the whole process, from doing the uppers, from welting, from lasting. These are hand-lasted, hand-welted boots and made in the United States, so they're going to be a little pricier. So let's unbox this bad boy. So 2 boot bags. I also did not send boot bags to Brian with my boots. These are his boot bags, which are pretty awesome. It was very nice of him to do that. So we're going to get the boot bags out. These are boot bags with a little drawstring right here. You can see nice cloth, standard cloth boot bags, but definitely high quality. So you can see what beautiful work Brian does with his resoles. There we are. Number 1. And ta-da! Number 2. Brian the Bootmaker, Roll Club, 1940 engineers. What I noticed that Brian did in this pair is that I feel like this leather got ever so slightly stretched, but in a good way. This boot had a collapsed shaft, and you can see that shaft is collapsing here, but it actually has, when he did the resoling or the revision of the sizing here, it has gained a little bit of height, I think, just based off how he does that. So feels a little taller to me than previously. These are a little shorter than many other engineer boots. The other thing I noticed is that there is more toe spring to this boot than I remember there being, and maybe that's just me, or maybe that's how the boot wears, but you can see if I use this very fancy technique here to determine toe spring, essentially using a flat edge and placing both the heel and the contact portion of the sole, you get a fair bit of toe spring right there. This 1940 last is a very elegant last. It has a slight asymmetry to it. It's got this nice edged profile that you can see here that's very gently done, but still adds a certain dimensionality. This is a collapsing toe, a collapsible toe. This is a natural horsehide leather. You can see the incredible grain structure here. This leather has a little bit of flexibility or pliability. You can kind of see that when I pull on the strap here. And Brian did a great job with this resizing and resoling. Look at that beauty. I absolutely adore Brian's rubber soles, these half rubber soles that are, I believe, corded. Yep, they have some cording going on there. And that double row of stitches with these unique little round circles and the rivets that are placed in here, as well as the nails done. Really clean work. He has a nail heel here as well. See how nice his sole is right there? He's got a beautiful sole. Now, if I recall, the heel from before was a little bit more steep even than this heel. This is more of your traditional Cuban heel, which I actually prefer. The other heel had quite a bit of taper, almost like a cowboy style heel. So I actually prefer this work unless I'm completely having a moment. I prefer what I'm seeing here. The stacked leather heel, hand stacked, full grain leather heel to complement the sole, the edge here, pulling up to the heel, and that slight angle. I'm trying to catch it right in there. Right there. There's a little edge there. Just that kind of little bevel to this edge here that sets it apart from the heel. Really nicely done. You don't see that as much on this side, but it's there. Little angle here. So just very clean, subtle attention to detail. This pair in Brian's work typically has a quadruple layer of stitches on the back heel counter, as well as on a good portion of this back heel stay here. Quadruple stitch with a trapezoidal pattern here, and then a double stitch leading to what looks like an M pattern there. You see also his unique affixment stitching for the different straps right here. You can see that pattern there. One shoemaker uses that pattern as well, but pretty much Brian was known for it before anybody else. And just look at this beautiful profile of this 1940 last. A slightly upturned nose, just lovely. I am not sure if Brian can turn a 1940 into a 1945 in terms of relasting. I imagine he certainly could. Really, really nice to see this boot come back to life with a new sole, a new toe spring, maybe relasted, slightly sized up, that the last is still quite snug on my feet, but has enough room where I can slip on a pair of medium thickness socks. Now, if I put on thin socks, this is much more comfortable. If I put on medium thickness socks, it sort of feels like how my thin socks felt before. So still a very snug fit in a shorter profile engineer from Roll Club, 1940 last, Brian the Bootmaker. Here you go, folks. Enjoyed this boot video. I hope you do. I'm going to enjoy these boots, get them on my shelf, and eventually showcase where my engineer collection is now. I have 2 more engineers coming from cool makers, one that you've heard of for sure, and one that you might not have heard of. Until then, I hope you're doing well, everybody. Hope you're enjoying this engineer series. Brian the Bootmaker, one of the best bootmakers in the world, doing a resole, refinish, resize of his own Roll Club 1940 engineers. Have a good one. Goodbye.